Okay, the final exam is going to consist of 3 questions. This is the final from fall of 2019, a year ago. The first one is on bond, and so the problem gives that the Norris Company issued a 5-year bond with a face value of $5 million, paying a face interest rate of 6%. The interest is paid annually, and the market rate of the interest on January, the same date, is 4%. And so that should be the same date. So I realize the question is, it's got the wrong date there. This is 2019. Okay, so the first thing to do is calculate the selling price for the sale of the bond. And so there are two cash values. There's a single payment of $5 million. So if you look at the 4% column down to row 5 in your present value tables, you will find a factor of 0.82193. That's a present value of $4,109,650. The second one is the bond is paying an annual interest payment of 6%. So 6% of $5 million is $300,000. You look in Table B in your appendix for the factor for 5 years at 4%, and you get a factor of 4.45182, a total of $1,335,596. Add those two together, and the selling price of the bond is $5,445,196. That's the carrying value on January 1, 2019. The cash interest rate is always going to be the $300,000. That's what's paid each December 31st. So if you multiply the carrying value of $5,445,196 times the market rate of 4%, you get an interest expense of $217,807.84. That's an overpayment of $82,192. So the market only wanted 4% for a investment of similar risk. You paid them 6%. So now you don't owe them as much. You've reduced the amount that you owe the bondholders by that $82,192, bringing the carrying value down. Multiply it again, you get an interest expense of $214,000, an overpayment of $85,000 now. That further reduces the carrying value down to $5,277,000. Do the same thing for 2021, 22, and then in 2023 brings the carrying value down to, within rounding, the $5 million, and that is then paid to the bondholders at the bond maturity. So that's the first question. This one's worth 33 points. So you've got 16 points, 8 points each in figuring out the cash value of the single payment and then the annuity, and then going through and doing 16 points, basically 5 points apiece for figuring out the interest expense, the premium amortized, and then the carrying value.